everyone. Welcome to a special episode of Small Talk. I say special because it was my show. No, it was more than that, though. Okay, so with me is Teri Westerby. He's been on the show once before, but this is the first time we're doing it in person. Mm-hmm. And I invited him here because he had just recently made an announcement, and I want him to talk about it. So welcome back to the show, Teri.
Thanks, Nancy. Thank you for having me.
For sure. So now, what did you just announce?
Well, yesterday I announced that I will be running for Chilliwack School Board Trustee.
That's really cool. So what made you decide to do that?
Well, it's been a bit of a long journey. I started about 5 years ago in Chilliwack, really getting more into the community work and activism. And just the experience of people in Chilliwack has not been what I believe it should be and could be because of some of the things that are going on in their schools. And we've had a lot of issues with the school board itself not being the most cohesive.
Okay.
And I felt that it was time that I stood up and said something and did something about it. So I wanted to put my name in the ring and try to make sure that we can bring the school district forward and start making sure that everybody is included in their education and that they had all the supports that they needed and people stopped getting forgotten and bullied and they finally had an education system that worked for them.
Okay, great. Now, first of all, the election is in October, I believe, right?
October 15th, yeah.
October 15th. And a lot of people feel that because they don't have children in the school system, they don't need to vote, but that's not true.
Oh, yeah. Kids eventually graduate, they join the community, they already are a part of our communities, and if you're not helping shape their futures, it ultimately will affect your future as well.
I agree, absolutely. Now, I know that in the very recent past, there's been some controversy with some of the trustees on the school board.
Unfortunately,
right?
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm hoping that will end, but you may have found this yourself, that so often, I've seen it over and over again, people join something, whatever it is, they're intended to do all these good things, but what happens is they sometimes come with their own agenda and end up wanting to push their views onto everybody else. So if that were to happen, well, how would you cope with that?
Well, my whole strategy is to be an open door and to listen to people. And sometimes people say things and they don't, and they say it comes out really mean. Mm-hmm. But my intention is to listen to what's really going on in their life and find ways that I can actually support them and help them through what they're complaining about. Mm-hmm. So not everyone has the same experiences, and I'm here to represent everybody, no matter what their beliefs are. Yeah. I'm not here to pick and choose who I support. And some people, unfortunately, they do pick and choose who they want to support. But I will not be that way.
Yeah, one of the things I heard somebody say, this woman who believes in she's anti-abortion because that's what her religion teaches, but she would never force that on anybody else. You know, so that with that same thought in mind, shouldn't that be the same way with school trustees?
Yes, actually, yes. All government positions should be secular, and your own beliefs do not reflect on the way that you would do your policies. What's important is that everybody is included so that they get an education that works for them, so that when they graduate and transition into adulthood, they are well prepared.
No, do we have here in Canada, like they have in the US, where they're banning certain books, especially if it's like the same-sex family members, like, is that happening here?
Yes, there has been some people who feel that there are certain books that should not be on the shelves, but those books, and as all books inside our libraries, have been rigorously examined and have been proven that they are adequate and safe and actually great books for people to learn because they are stories of other people's experiences, and that's what we all need is stories of other people's experiences so we can grow ourselves as humans and just be more open-minded and not only tolerant but accepting and welcoming and celebratory of other people and their differences.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that's a wonderful way to approach things, and as you said, unfortunately not everybody feels that, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know you just announced this yesterday, but I've already seen some support for you, which is really, really good. I'm one of them. I believe you. Well, I love the fact that you're a person who wants to include everybody. I think if more of us were like that, we wouldn't have all these issues so much, right?
Yeah, if everybody took care of each other and lifted each other up and was part of their communities and cared, then the world would be a better place, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Now, like I know in the last school board election, one of my friends was kind of attacked on Facebook and stuff that was brought out that had no relevance, is that the word I want? Yeah, thanks. At all to her ability to be a trustee, a school board trustee. Again, what's your opinion on something like that?
Yeah, Facebook can be quite a difficult place to navigate because people, with the anonymity of the screen, they feel safe to say things that you wouldn't say in person, and that's just really unfortunate that they had to deal with that. So I definitely prepared to face things like that, but I'm just choosing to rise above it and again to see what people are really saying behind those attacks, and sometimes it just means giving myself space from them because they only aim to hurt. But for the most part, I recommend that you keep close to your personal community and the people that really support you, and that's my plan. I do have lots of support out there and like you, and it's just wonderful, and I plan to focus on those people because their voices matter, and they are the ones that usually get overshadowed by the loud attacking voices, and I'd rather not give attention to those people. Like we had protesters at Pride last year, and what I recommend to everybody is just not give him your power. Keep your attention on the fun and not even give him the time of day, and he won't take anything from you then. He'll just be putting his own energy into a void.
Yeah, right. I don't understand that protesting to begin with. Like, how does your sexual orientation, whatever it is, how does it affect my life? Like, as far as I know, it doesn't. And mine doesn't affect yours, right? You know, it makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, and everybody has their own beliefs, and that's fine, but I always support people's rights to protest because I would never want to take anyone's right away. But, you know, we're just here to celebrate who we are, and, you know, they were welcome to put down their signs and join us. So no one's ever excluded. We just ask, you know, let us have our celebration.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, if you're going to protest something worthwhile, like child abuse, trafficking, female trafficking for the sex trade, rape, those are the things you should be protesting. Seriously, you know, because like somebody who's in the Pride Parade, they're not hurting you at all. Just have to put that out there. I'm sorry, but I just it gives me, you know, I try very hard to understand, but I can't, because I can't get in somebody else's head that thinks that way, you know. And I know that often you can't convince somebody else to think a certain way.
No, they have to be open and willing to make the change.
Yeah.
So that's why the only way that you can go on is to be yourself and continue to be confident and to just try your best to ignore. But I know that's also difficult, so that's why you have your supports, your family, your friends, your environment, your community, that the people that love and support you.
Right. Now, getting back to the school board, because that's why you're here. Do you know who else is running at this point? Is it early days, and are the people that are on there already staying? Do you know?
I can't speak for anybody, but Dr. Karen Bondar has announced that she'll be running, and I'm really excited to be running with her. Yeah. And but Barry Neufeld has also mentioned that he will be on the ballot this year.
Okay.
So we have a very important task, and that is to get out and vote, please.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I didn't vote last year, even though I intended to, but it wasn't convenient for me to get there. Now that's unfortunate, you know. But I do intend to do it this year. I will make a point of doing it, and I hope again, like I imagine you're going to be doing more interviews. Hopefully,
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, if not, come on, Chill TV. They haven't invited you yet. There is. Get with it. I imagine they will. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah, I just announced yesterday, and I've already had such a great show of support, like yourself reaching out to me. I had a really awesome couple of articles, one with the Progress, and one on Fraser Valley News, and I launched at 4:00 in the morning, and I woke up to 2 amazing articles by 9 in the morning, and I was just really impressed by the show of support. And getting the word out there, and again, this is a really important election. So it'd really be great if everyone could come out and vote. I'm going to do my best to talk to people about making it convenient. There are usually a couple of advanced voting days, and last year we had mail-in voting because of COVID, so I'm hoping that they keep that up.
That'd be
because
nice.
we're not out of the woods yet with COVID.
Yeah, for sure. That would be really nice. Yeah, as soon as I saw that you were running, I just again, I reached out right away. Come on the show. Got to talk about this. I love this.
I love Nancy's show. I love
Thank you so much. I love the fact that you're so open. That's what I appreciate. And I think, from just the little I know of you, I don't know you that well, obviously. I haven't known you for that long, but I would think that you're very much of a team player.
Yes, yeah, I'm on several boards. I've always been a leader in my work roles. It's just kind of who I am naturally to just, work as a team, take people in under my wing, and also to listen to the advice of the people who've been there for a long time. And, you're nothing without your team, in my opinion.
Yeah, so. Yeah. So for those people who don't know you that well, again, what are you on so they can get a better view of who you are?
It's a great question. I'm the president and one of the founding members of the Chilliwack Pride Society, which started in 2019. It was a total surprise that we were able to put on this first event in 2019, and the response from the community proved that we need more Pride representation here. So several just awesome community members formed the Chilliwack Pride Society, and we've been running ever since. And even with COVID challenges, we've had a lot of community growth and a lot of support, and a lot of youth as well who really need that support. And this sort of stemmed from the Gender Support Network, which started in 2017, which is another thing that I'm a facilitator on. We actually have 6 or 7 support groups now, all ages, all genders. We also have FTM, MTF, and all those sorts of support groups, a youth group, families groups. So there's a lot of need, and we've just been continually trying to keep up and match it.
Right.
And another thing that sort of stemmed from the community is the Downtown Chilliwack Community Market, which I'm the secretary of that society, which is a food security focused.
What do you mean by that?
Farmers market. So it's a farmers farmers market. We're part of the BC Association of Farmers Markets, which is a government program which provides food subsidy programs.
Oh, I see.
So coupons for vegetables and for meat and dairy and stuff like that. So families who are food insecure, they can get these coupons, and they can come and shop at the farmers market from their local farmer. So it's connecting farmers to the communities and also helping with some food insecurity.
Yeah.
And we ourselves raise additional funds so we can give out additional coupons from our food subsidy program. So that's been a really great start. We're in our 2nd year now, and we're going to September 18th. So it's every Sunday, 10 till 2, downtown Chilliwack, right outside the Pico.
Right outside where?
The Pico refills on Mill Street.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. It's just I know Mill Street, but I forgot the name of that.
I'm more of a place-oriented than a street-orienter, so...
Well, because I don't get out that much anymore, I'm more of a street, when I do get out, it has to be, tell me the street, and then I can find it, But of course, I mentioned this before, I have social anxiety, so I don't actually get out there a lot, so...
they have a great website, which is nice.
Yeah, very good, yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, what do you do for a living? Because you can't just be volunteering all the time.
I work with the United Way. I'm with the High Neighbor program, which is it's about community building, and that's actually my role as community builder. And it's based on a hierarchy of needs, essentially, where you are building the community connection and working on networking, and then you'll find people within the community who really want to see it grow and have the ability to connect, and they're community champions, and then we help them grow and put more community champions together. And ultimately the goal is to have a stronger sense of community.
Right.
And then the United Way will have a legacy neighborhood in that area.
Okay.
So I'm just in Sardis.
Oh, okay. So one of the things I was just thinking about as you're talking about all the things that you're involved in, mostly it's all community minded. How did you get there? Yeah,
it's been definitely a journey. So my transition from when I was in, it was a life transition as well, because when everything is kind of, you break down everything before you can really accept what you really are, having to kind of reassess what your life was and is.
Okay.
So for me, I've always felt a draw to helping people, and really strong sense of justice and injustice. And so I was classically trained in graphic design.
Oh, you were, eh?
Yeah, well, I say classically, I don't know why I say that, but
sounds cool.
Yeah, it's just I actually went to a school and it wasn't online. It was self-taught, which a lot of people are, and I'm definitely not knocking that. So I went through a school program to get trained in graphic design, and some of that was like the basic stuff like animation and life drawings, color theory, things like that. So like a lot of the basis of design. Anyway, I digress.
No, it's okay. You're allowed.
The need for that graphic design, especially in the nonprofit sector, was really, really large, and there just wasn't enough funding for paying the wages of graphic designers. So they were really struggling, and we live in a very visual world. Everyone expects everything to be visual and graphic, especially on social media, and that is kind of crucial to success of a lot of nonprofits' endeavors. So I kind of started getting involved with nonprofits that way. Like I'm creating logos, creating websites, creating printouts and flyers and banners, all the things that people need to be successful. And it turned out to be very helpful. Yeah. And that led me to do more and be more confident in like taking on more roles. And and it's just like there's a need and you want to fill it to make sure that this thing happens. And you know, you may not feel like you're the best person for the job, but that usually means that you are. And so if you know, it's better than nothing sometimes. Sure. Not always. But if you do your best, then at least, you know, like these food security programs, would they be there if we weren't all just trying our best to make it happen? Probably not. So
one of the things I like to tell people too is helping somebody makes you feel good. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Right?
I think there was an episode of Friends where Phoebe said there's no good deed, and she tried really hard to prove that, you know, she could do things and not feel good about it afterwards, but she could never actually prove it. You know, I post things like I do something for my neighbor. One of them gives me chocolate or whatever. Think, it's so much fun. All I did was some little thing, you know. But if more people just took the time to do one little thing for somebody else. Yes, that's exactly what I've also found is the more I give to the community, the more the community gives back, and that leads me to be able to give more to the community, and then that cycle can continue. And I know that does come from a place of privilege for myself because I have the ability to give that time. I have the security where I don't have to worry about having a full-time job right now. I can have a part-time job and do all my community work, and that is 100% from a place of privilege. So it's not fair to ask everyone to be able to do that. And so the more barriers we remove for people to be able to make ends meet, the more ability we have to grow our community. So
right. Now, we're just going to end it there now, but I just want to say to everybody, like, if you listen to Teri, the reason why I wanted you to talk about some of the jobs you do, some of the nonprofits you're involved in, is people can see how, what great an asset you will be on the school board, you know, and that's important. You need to find out what people's views are and how they feel about the community in general, before you can make a really good decision on whether or not they should be, you know, should be there and they get out and vote. So thanks again, Teri, for doing this. I really appreciate it. And remember, October, get out there and vote. There's different ways. Hopefully, as Teri said, there will be a mail-in ballot, which for those of us who are, you know, don't drive anymore, it kind of helps a little bit. Anyway, take care, everybody. Stay tuned and peace out. I'm sorry I got to reach over because I don't have my remote working. Bye for
a sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.